It's story time with Mr. Burnett. Story time with Mr. Burnett. It's bound to be something that you won't forget too soon.
Greetings, friends. The other day, I was talking about the value of the arts. Actually, it wasn't. It was just a minute ago before I changed shirts. But there's a great value in being creative. I'm really excited to be talking to you today about a book that I think is appropriate that way. I have shared with you the books before from Red Nose Studios about the garbage barge and the secret subway. And it's a guy named Jonah Winter who builds everything from just scraps and parts, and he builds everything meticulously and then takes these beautiful photographs of it, and that's how he makes his pictures, and that's how he puts the book together. And it's amazing work, and I'm excited to be sharing this book. It's also appropriate because, speaking of music, you've heard me sing. I have a confession. I know I'm lousy. I know I'm no good. It doesn't matter. It does me good. It does me good to sing and to play music, and I encourage you to do that too. Who cares how lousy it is? Just sing. Same thing with my art. Just do it. Let's just get out there and just put it out there. It's good for us. But I also have the opportunity today to share a story of a man, a young man, who your grandparents and great-grandparents probably are in love with. Some of you have probably heard of him before, but he was considered like the greatest, the king, when I was a kid. And that's the story of Elvis Presley, Elvis the King. And so this is a beautiful book. It's got really glossy images, so if I'm not careful, you'll see my little TikTok boy ring light there, but sorry about that. But anyway, this is the book, and I'm excited to be sharing it with you. So let's get into it and enjoy it. Elvis is King by Jonah Winter and Red Nose Studio. Elvis is born, but alas, he is born in a humble shack on the wrong side of the railroad tracks, the side where the poorest of the poor people live, down, down, down in the deep south, Tupelo, Mississippi. Elvis's daddy is arrested. He forged a check, which is like stealing money. Now he's got to go to jail, leaving Elvis and his mama all alone to fend for themselves for 14 months. Times is hard. Tiny Elvis sings in church because he feels it through and through, because there ain't nothing better for the soul than singing, because singing is the reason Elvis was brought into this world. County Fair Talent Show. Look at little Elvis up on stage, shy as he can be, 10 years old, so small he has to stand on a chair to reach the microphone. But when he opens his mouth to sing, a tearjerker song about a dog that dies, everybody listens to every word. When he is done, clapping and hooting, Elvis is loved. What a feeling that is. 5th prize. Hardware store guitar. There it is, hanging from a strap behind a counter. With pennies she saved, Mama buys her 11-year-old birthday boy the most important gift he will ever receive. It will be the key to his salvation. Elvis sings in school, and he plays his little guitar too. All the time. Sure, it gets him in trouble, but that's nothing compared to the joy it brings him. The moment in the African American church. From the dusty road, little Elvis hears some gospel singing, goes to peek in the window, and good Lordy mercy, he ain't never heard nothing that sweet before. The first cheeseburger ever eaten by Elvis. It is the first of many cheeseburgers Elvis will eat, bought with pennies his mama has saved, at the diner in tiny downtown Tupelo, where everybody stares 'cause mama ain't wearing no shoes. Snicker, snicker, snicker. Exit from Tupelo. With all their belongings packed into the rusty 39 Plymouth, Mama, Papa and 13-year-old Elvis head for the open road to Memphis to start a new life, hopefully a better one. But on their first night there, without enough money to buy even 3 cheeseburgers, they dine on peanut butter and banana sandwiches in the car, which is also where they spend the night. Elvis's first apartment in Memphis. And so it goes. Elvis, Mama, and Papa, all cooped up in one dirty room, sharing a bathroom down the hall with their neighbors. It is in a rough part of town. It is what they can afford. Elvis's first job, with a mama who's often sick and a daddy who don't work much. Teenage Elvis is the one who makes what little money his family has, working nights as a ticket taker at a movie theater, and so it comes to pass that this poor boy falls asleep a lot in class. Train, coming round the bend. What would you do if you were just a poor country boy in the big city, aching to be something more, craving to be loved the way a starving dog craves food? What crazy plans might you concoct, lying in bed at night, listening to the freight trains passing by? Shazam! A blonde boy turns into a black-haired teenager. With the help of some hair dye and hair wax, teenage Elvis changes himself into something that turns people's heads. The green pants, the pink shirts, the checkered jackets, all bought at a second-hand store. It all adds up to look at me. High school talent show. Weird teenage Elvis with his crazy hair and crazy clothes and dirt poor country boy shyness walks on stage with his guitar, then knocks 'em dead with his song. Something happens, something big when he's up there. He is no longer shy. He can be whatever he wants to be. Let loose, go crazy. He feels loved, and boy, does that feel good. The first love of Elvis. Her name is Dixie Locke, and just the sight of her helps tongue-tied teenage Elvis relax and be himself and talk and talk and talk and talk, and want to be with her forever and ever. Beale Street Blues. Recent high school graduate Elvis, strolling in and strolling out of every music club he passes, listening to the blues, feeling the blues, getting ideas for some blues he'd like to sing. Elvis publicly declares his mission in life. Driving down the street, he screeches to a halt, jumps out of the car, and yells, "I'm gonna be the biggest star in the world!" The first record. As a present for his mama, perfect son Elvis goes downtown to a place called Sun Studios, where you can record yourself singing. It also makes real records of big-time singers, and Sly Elvis knows this. The owner asks him who he sounds like. "I don't sound like nobody," he says, then pays her $3.98 to record a song called My Happiness. This is the first song recorded by Elvis, though no one hears it but a couple of people. The call from the record company. When tired Elvis gets home from his day job driving a truck, his mama tells him he got a call on the neighbor's phone because they can't afford one. It was from Sun Records. They want Elvis to make a real record that would be for sale. Overjoyed Elvis jumps up and down and walks on the ceiling and then flies. Elvis tries to make a real record, but he's just sitting in his chair, not moving, not excited, no feeling in his voice. The recording guy just shakes his head. Elvis tries to make a real record, take two. So, Elvis and the other musicians are goofing around during a break, having fun with a popular blues song called That's All Right. Elvis is standing up now and shaking his hips and doing these crazy moves with his knees and making his voice all wobbly. The recording guy perks up. Let's record that. First Elvis song ever played on the radio. But Elvis is nowhere to be seen. He's hiding out in a movie theater. He's scared. What if people hate his song? What if it's a flop? First Elvis song ever is played on the radio, take 2. Meanwhile, while Elvis is hiding in the dark, teenagers are calling the radio station like crazy. 5,000 requests for That's All Right. The song is played 15 times in one night. People are losing their minds over some person named Elvis. Something big is happening here. The first time the world gets to see the brand new Elvis. It's just a couple weeks later. He's so nervous he can't stop shaking, even when he walks out on stage, even when he starts to sing. But that shaking starts an avalanche of screaming, in a good way. And so it begins. Brand new Elvis now knows what to do on stage, and he will never forget. It is a thing to behold. The 147th cheeseburger eaten by Elvis. Boy, does that taste good, big and juicy. Ketchup and mustard oozing out of it, and the best spice of all, success. Girls come up to him, batting their starstruck eyes, itching to get up close. The first heartbreak of Elvis. Good-looking heartthrob Elvis, surrounded by girls traveling around, is drifting apart from his one true love and his little darling Dixie Lock. And then it is over. He will never love like that again. Lovelorn Elvis is a heartbroken mess. Now he's got something to sing about. It is a blessing in disguise. Heartbreak Hotel. Unknown outside of Memphis, Elvis records a song about a sad hotel that rises to #1 on the pop charts. #1. All over America, people buy his record. Elvis is rich. Elvis is loved. But the words to his song are, I'm so lonesome, I get so lonely, I could die. Arrival of the screaming teenage girls. Something about the way he swivels his hips and wiggles his knees and curls his upper lip and shakes his voice seems to be in love with each and every person in the audience drives girls out of their minds. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. No one has. What is this crazy music anyway? Is it country music? Sort of, but it's got too much of a beat. Is it rhythm and blues? Yep, a little bit. It's blues. It's the music Elvis heard in the African American church. It's black music sung by a southern white man. It's more than the sum of its parts. It's rebellious and exciting, and something teenagers dig. It's rock and roll, baby, and Elvis is its king, the biggest star the world has ever known.